Praise the Lord, everybody. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Welcome to another Good Morning Grief Devotion. It's your boy, Pastor Corey Allen Duncan Sr. Grateful, thankful for this day, for this time, for this wonderful opportunity that the Lord has afforded us to gather together in this virtual space and place to start our day off in the power and in the presence of the Lord. This is the daily grief devotion that is strategically designed to help you to navigate through your grief one day at a time. What is grief? I'm so glad you asked. Grief, my brothers and sisters, it is the natural, normal, and necessary response to loss, change, and transition that results in the expressions of feelings and emotions. Grief is what you feel on the inside. Mourning is how you reveal it on the outside. Therefore, we don't suppress it, but we express it. We don't ignore it, but we explore it. We don't conceal it, but we reveal it. We don't lock it up, but we let it out. And that's why we shout good morning, because morning is indeed a good thing. And I'm so glad that you're here with us on today as we lead you in a very special way in today's Good Morning Grief Devotion. Thank you for joining us on today. Grateful and thankful to have this time and this opportunity to take another step. Remember, small steps lead to great distances, and that's exactly what we're taking on today. Today is day 249. This message is right on time. We're going to talk about turning triggers into testimonies. Turning triggers into testimonies. We've been talking about grief and trauma and triggers, how we can turn them into testimonies. The Bible says, "Come and hear, all you who fear God, let me tell you what he has done for me." At first, triggers feel like enemies. They drag you back into sorrow. They reopen wounds and make you feel like you're reliving the loss all over again. You remember yesterday we talked about triggers could be a song, a sound, a smell, a sight. It could be anything that pulls you back into that grief, anything that pulls you back into that moment, anything that pulls you back into that space and into that place where you experience the trauma, the loss, the change, the transition. All of these things can be triggers. Something somebody says, a song that you hear, a smell that you smell, something that you see, being on a certain side of town, hearing a commercial, riding by a restaurant. It's something that just, it triggers that thought. It triggers the trauma. It triggers the loss. It triggers the change. It triggers the transition that you went through, right? These are the triggers. At first, triggers, they feel like enemies, right? Because you smell it and it takes you back. You see it and it takes you back. And it triggers the loss, the change, the transition, and or the trauma. They drag you back into sorrow. They reopen wounds, make you feel like you're reliving the loss all over again. But with time, God can transform those very moments into something redemptive. The sound, the date, the place that once broke you can in his hands become reminders of his sustaining grace. Isn't that amazing? The two key words in this whole sentence is in time. In time, those triggers can begin to change. Those triggers can begin to transition. Those triggers can transform into something else, but it happens in time. The very trigger in one season, the very trigger that messed you up can be the very trigger that blesses you up in the next season, right? In one season, the very trigger that caused you to cry in the next season can cause you to celebrate, to worship, to thank God, right? And so this is what we got to know and understand. The sound, the date, the place that once broke you can, in his hands, become reminders of his sustaining grace. This doesn't happen overnight. It happens little by little. As you notice that the same song that once brought only tears now brings a memory that makes you smile. The anniversary that once felt unbearable becomes an opportunity to honor their life. The place that once triggered panic becomes a place you can visit with peace. But this only happens in time, over time. And it can happen. Psalm 66 and 16 reminds us of the power of testimony. When you begin to share how God has carried you through your triggers, what once was a source of pain becomes a platform of hope for you and for others who need to know that healing is possible. What once was a source of pain becomes a platform of hope. What once was a source of pain now becomes a platform of hope in time. And it becomes a testimony to others of how God can flip the script and change things in your life. Let me give you some practical application to help you. The next time a trigger surfaces, ask God, how might this one day become part of my testimony? Write down even the smallest ways He has met you in those moments. Over time, these notes can become milestones of healing and stories of hope that you can share with others walking a similar path. We talk about journaling all the time, and I hope and pray y'all have a grief journal so that these practical applications, these are this. Listen, Linda, this is free therapy, right? It's just free, and it's a nugget. It's just a 10-minute session, right? But it's something that will be super beneficial if you put it into practice. Remember, information plus application is what leads to transformation. And so, and I'm gonna put the prompt back on the screen, but if y'all if y'all take a picture of the prompt, and if y'all just start doing it daily, if you do the work, you'll see like, man, this is something else, right? Keep a grief journal because in time you look back and it will amaze you, right? And you'll see what was a trigger last year. Maybe it's turned into a testimony this year, right? But you'll never know if you don't track your progress, if you don't keep track, if you don't keep score, if you don't write it and record it, right? This was so very important. So again, the next time a trigger surfaces, ask God, how might this one day become part of my testimony? Write down even the smallest ways He has met you in those moments. Over time, these notes can become milestones of healing, stories of hope that you can share with others walking a similar path. Today, my brothers and sisters, is day 249. I pray this message was right on time. Turning triggers into testimonies. Turning triggers into testimonies. We are going to turn our triggers into testimonies. And I'm so grateful and thankful to have the opportunity to help you do so. It's your boy, Pastor Corey Allen Duncan Sr. Hope and pray that y'all have a sensational Saturday. And I'm going to see y'all tomorrow, same time, same place for another Good Morning Grief Devotion. Good morning.